So you have to check with your university. So, and then you have to go through a process of writing your statement of purpose, which has to be very carefully drafted. Like you have to actually tell why you want to do this master's in this particular college as well. So it is all about a connection game over here. You have to talk to a lot of recruiters, technical recruiters. There are deadlines on which, so all the companies, they open up their jobs, right? So there are deadlines for it. You have to apply accordingly.
Hi everyone, good evening. How are you all? I am Dhwani from GeeksforGeeks and I will be your host for today. For today's session, I am pleased to welcome Ms. Vidushi Sharma, who is an upcoming SDE intern at Amazon. Hi Vidushi.
Hi Dhwani.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too, thank you. So for the benefit of our audience, I'll just introduce our today's guest, who has a very impressive profile. So as I told you, Vidushi is an upcoming SDE intern at Amazon. She is a skillful cloud platform engineer who is highly focused on infrastructure tools, container orchestrators, and cloud native applications. On the work front, she has worked on a number of projects as a full stack developer and was involved as a site reliability engineer in different cross-geo projects. It's really an honor to have you here with us, Vidushi.
Thank you.
So before we start this session, would you like to, give a starting note to the audience who are watching this session?
Yeah, so hi everyone. I don't know how many people are there. So I am Vidushi and I am basically from India. I'm over here to just talk to you guys about a brief about what I have experienced in my life to finally reach the States to pursue my master's. I'm not an expert, so I'll be just sharing what I have just learned throughout my journey and I'll talk about it. Yeah.
So that's a very positive note to start on. So let's just start from the very, root question. What was your admission procedure and how did you choose the college that you are currently in?
So I am presently studying at the State University of New York at Buffalo, that is known as University at Buffalo, and I am pursuing my master's in computer science. So I was probably a part of those people who had a long admission process. So I had applied for my master's back in August 2019 when the world was completely normal and we used to go and party every day, right? So I was one of those people who started applying in August 2019. I applied to quite a few colleges and got admits as well in like February 2021. And then the whole world turned upside down. It was COVID. We didn't know what is happening. The colleges didn't know anything. And we had left with no option either to defer to spring 2022 or the 2021, spring 2021 or fall 2021. So I chose to defer my admission by 1 year. And so the admission procedure is pretty standard across all the colleges too, regardless of where you're applying. There might be a few additional clauses as well if you're applying to masters in computer science. So management has a different route altogether. So when you are a master's in computer science aspirant, right? So it is expected out of you to that you will be studying. You will have to complete your 4 years bachelor's degree. You can either be in your last year so that you can give your unofficial transcripts up to that point of time. Then you have to give your GRE exam, and you have to give, if your college can, some colleges don't want a TOEFL score, but some colleges do. So you have to check with your university. So, and then you have to go through a process of writing your statement of purpose, which has to be very carefully drafted. Like you have to actually tell why you want to do this master's in this particular college as well. This is where most of the people have actually lagged, right, in the past, and they don't have proper guidance. Then you need some very strong letter of recommendations as well. And that's pretty much it. Apart from that, you have to pay the application fees. You have to pay a lot of application fees. So you have to be prepared for that. That is it.
I myself was looking into a lot of colleges this year. So I'll be graduating next year. And I also have this ambition of, going to the States and studying abroad. So I just observed that a lot of colleges didn't accept a GRE score last year due to the
Mm.
pandemic. So, was it a good thing? And do you think that thing will continue to this year and perhaps next year as well?
So yeah, I know that a lot of the colleges didn't like they were not expecting that you submit a GRE score because the centers were not open. I don't know about the present situation, but I do think that they will be getting back to like taking the GRE scores as well. Talking about the past, the last year for the students who didn't have to take it, the GRE score, I feel if you have a very strong profile, so by profile I would say it is not that you should be be from a top tier IIT, or you should have like strong networks in the industry out there. If you have very strong skills and you know how do you sell yourself, right, how do you actually tell someone who's completely new to this world that okay, I am worth your attention, I am worth your 5 minutes of reading my SOP. I do feel that GRE just plays a very small component. Yes, some of the colleges directly place cutoff on some of the points, right? But for all the other colleges, they look at your profile holistically. What sort of a person you are, how will you actually contribute to their college, right? So the admission process is not like India over here, where you have to just score marks above a cutoff and then you are in. That is not. So people, the universities want to know you, so it is just on. And how will they know you? For masters, they don't mostly conduct interviews. They will know you from your SOP, statement of purpose. So that plays the most important part. Regardless, a university is asking for a GRE score or is not asking for a GRE score. So that's just an additional factor, I think. This is my what I have seen in the past. Yeah.
Right. So, as you mentioned, that it is not necessary for someone to be from a tier one college. So,
Yeah.
do you actually think that like, this college, do you think college plays an important role in your personality grooming and actually getting into a good master's college?
Yes, definitely. I stand by it. So if you are from, so what, how do you define a good college? A good college is definitely a place wherein you learn a lot. So I have seen a lot of people during my bachelor's as well who would just stay in their rooms. And yes, definitely they know far more DSA questions, data structures and algorithm questions than me. But once you step out of your house and you enter a college, be it your bachelor's college or be it your master's college, you have to make it a point that you have to go out there, talk to people. And the more you connect, the more your personality grooms up. I had never thought that I'll be sitting over here and talking to someone from Geeks who would want to know my experience if I would have just made sure that during my bachelor's I'm just sitting in my room. So it is not that you have to go to a college who accepts ranks under 500 in IIT JEE or something. You can be, your rank can be pretty back also. You go to a college which is not very famous, but you have to make sure that when you are given a chance to sit for a company, so you will be given less number of chances as compared to someone who's from an IIT, right? But you have to make sure that one chance which you get, you have to nail it. You cannot give an excuse over there. So you can either choose to have your 4 years crying, oh, I didn't get into a top tier college like everyone else, or you can say, okay, I am here. Let me be the best person out of all the other people from this place. So you have to just focus on it. Yes, your environment around you, your friends around you, your alumni network, the way you connect to your alumni, it has to be very strong. When I came to be to the States, I don't even have a single family member over here. I am from Punjab, so all of my relatives, everyone is in Canada. No one is in the States, right? I came here only and only because I have a very strong alumni network connection. I find them as my family. So I had the strength to come over here all alone. So just make sure that you connect, you talk to a lot of people, not just from your college alumni as well. So yeah, that's it.
That's a lot of positive wisdom. I mean, I'm sure it took a lot of courage to step out of your comfort zone. And, like after you pursued your bachelor's from Thapar itself, you told me you're from Punjab and you pursued your bachelor's there only. So, I mean, I am sure it takes a lot of guts. And I am the same story. I live in a certain city and I am doing my bachelor's in there as well. So I
Hmm.
understand. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to step out of there. So, how much do you think a college matters in getting a job?
Okay. So I have actually experienced my education both in India also and in the States as well. So first talking about someone who's looking for a job in India. What I have seen in the past is, I was from a college which had a very strong placement center, right? It had very good network in the industry, wherein all the companies would come to your campus and then interview you. So you were given a chance. Definitely, you were given a chance. But I do know a few friends. So who were not given a chance for this also, right? The college center, the placement center was not that strong enough. Luckily, right now, I was interviewing back in 2018. Right now the startup culture is such on a high in India, right? So you are given a lot of chances. There are a lot of jobs in India for software engineering as well, for computer science students, right? So you I think it has become less important. Your skills have become more important, like getting into a good college, right? So if you have a lot of skills like Google in India, right, it just opens up a platform. It is not centered to the, I don't know about the application for that, right? So it is an internship opportunity in Google. So if you are in your second year, you can just apply over there. I might be wrong, it might be Google or
That's step
Microsoft.
internship.
Yeah, step internship. I was reading about Microsoft also opening up some program for the same, right? So it does not matter which college you belong to, because all these companies are expanding in India. So you just have to fill out your application and you have to just go through the standard process. Your DSA should be very good. So no one sitting in my college, when I was there was no course of actually teaching me how to code competitive, do all these Geeks for Geeks or lead code questions, right? You had to do it yourself. They will build a very strong foundation of you, but they can only help you from that. You can just take up a good course, build that for yourself in 30 days if you are not one of those lucky people going to a very good research focused university, right? So this is what happens in India. So once you are here in the States, it's a all different game altogether. You are competing. If in India you were competing with 1 lakh students, in the States there are people coming in from different countries as well, right? And everyone. So in your bachelor's, if you are graduating in 2018, only people of that particular age group are fighting for the new grad roles, right? But once you come to the States, you will find yourself competing for the same job with a person who has just graduated, a person who has 10 years of experience, and then you are and then you are there in the middle. So how do you guys actually show that you are worth it? One thing which all of us have to our map, like we are evaluated on the same ground, is how strong is your DSA. So in the States as well, when as soon as you enter, no one actually told me that you have to start the application process because your internships for the next semester are coming up, right? So it is a 1 year long process for your internships as well. And I was like, okay, we'll have time for that, but it actually is not like that, does not work like it. The day you land over here in the States, you have to start building your connections. So it is all about a connection game over here. You have to talk to a lot of recruiters, technical recruiters. You have to, there are deadlines on which, so all the companies, they open up their jobs, right? So there are deadlines for it. You have to apply accordingly before the deadlines. So I have seen people over here that they apply to 300 jobs as well to just get one phone call. That is the situation right now, because the influx is so high. The jobs are also quite high, but you have to struggle. So no one will be actually helping you over here. So in India, you have colleges, you have messes, you have to actually cook over here in the States. So this is the difference. But overall, when you find yourself in a better position in both the places, if you have a good hold over your DSA, that is one thing which is out of your head if you are already prepared with that, data structures and algorithms. So just be prepared with it. College will not matter that much. Like, unless you are from an Ivy League college, right, wherein the name of the college just plays out. All the other colleges are on the same level. You have to go through the same application process, and just the given a chance, just go for it. That is it.
Right. So, as you were mentioning SOPs and their importance, could you give us some tips as to how to write a person SOP and what is actually included in it?
Okay. So I am a person who has some experience as well. Like I worked with VMware for 3 years. So my SOP, I'll be talking about something about my SOP. Whenever you are writing an SOP, just don't make it very generic for all the universities, right? One a mistake which all the students do is that they are so tired of actually figuring out why they want to do the masters, where did they want to do the masters, because the application process is very tiring, that they end up using the same statement of purpose across all the universities, right? So that is, I think, one of the problems wherein the students lack with their good SOPs. So whenever you are writing an SOP, what I was told, there was someone who was sitting and just guiding me as well, like this. So first of all, you have to start off with, why do you want to do this masters, right? So most of the people over here will be coming to the states just to get a job, right? So how do we say, okay, I'm coming to the states to get a job? That might be that might be your intention, right? But you cannot directly write, okay, I'm coming to the states, I want to get a job, so that is why I want to pursue a masters in university. That is completely wrong. No one is going to give you a admit. So when you start off with your SOP, just show that yes, you are very interested in the program. Do a somewhat research of the university's program. Learn about who are the famous professors there. What do they teach? Most of the professors have their YouTube channels as well. So you can actually search their name. You can see how they are teaching. You can see, talk to the alumni of that university, see where they are actually placed. That will actually help you to understand what the university actually wants out of you and what you can expect out of the university. So once you are ready, before actually typing the first word of your SOP, you have to do all of this research for 10 universities if you're applying. So do a research separately about all the universities. Then once you have all these points figured out, then you start off with the writing your SOP. First of all, the we get like a very short limit of the words which we can use. Like around, some of the universities have even asked me for 500 words. Why do you want to come to the states? And I was like completely astonished that okay, these 500 words actually decide my future, right? So you have to be very crisp, but you have to show that you want to learn. How your present skills will enhance once you are enrolled in the program. And if you have some work experience, you have to show that this is the work experience which aligns with some of the work which is going on in your university. If you do not have a work experience, you can definitely talk about one of the projects which you did during your bachelor's, which you are very proud of. Talk about it very genuinely. And in the last portion, while concluding, just say that okay, this program will help me to be at a very good place 5 years down the line. What is your vision? Talk about it. So the universities basically want this in their person's SOP. If you have papers, research papers published, definitely talk about it, because they get a huge plus in a person's profile. And just basically don't fool around. So each SOP has to be university specific. Talk about their research. Talk about how your interests align with that research. That will definitely put you very ahead in the line of the applications. Yeah.
Right. So, what difficulties did you face while preparing for GRE, and what other exams did you give?
Okay, so this is a funny story. Like when I was working back in 2019. I had joined VMware in 2018, right? So it was 1 year, and I was actually working over there, and I was in a very good place. I loved the work there, right? And everything was doing very well. And then I happened to talk to one of my friends, right? So and that person was actually applying for masters, giving GRE, and I was like, okay, I have not given it a thought. Maybe I'll give it a thought in January or something. And then, so that person said that if you give your GRE in January, you will be eligible to go after 1.5 years, because the cycle is from August. If you have to come to the States next August, you have to start preparing for your GRE, LORs, SOPs in August of the last year. So that I had to give my GRE in a very rush, right? Because I was working also. I had project deadlines also. And then being a working professional, it's difficult, right? Even as a student, because you have most of the deadlines, but you have to take time. No one is asking you to go out there and just take. I have seen like huge businesses taking like lakhs of money from the students just to prepare them from GRE. GRE is a very basic maths, if I talk to you about. So your maths is very basic over there. Yes, do students do like they find the vocabulary section a bit difficult, like learning around those 1,000 words. It is definitely difficult. But if you start early, so right now, if there is someone who wants to come to the States next in August 2023, I think start in May 2022. That is the best time to start building up your profile. So start brushing up on your math skills. Your English skills is something which is very important in GRE, because you have to score somewhat. It cannot be that you score full in maths and then you are very bad at English and then you have a very respectable score. No, there are individual cutoffs. So you have to be above those cutoffs in both the sections. And it is not a very difficult process. Given GRE, you have given 10th and 12th. Those have been more difficult than given GREs. It is just that we are out of practice and we have become lazy, that we are just scared of GRE. Okay. So once you just remove this stress out of you, you will be able to give it. I also gave TOEFL. So it is some of the universities are very strict about. So if you are applying for some Canadian universities, do check they require TOEFL or do they just want IELTS? Yeah. So you have to be very sure of it. The dates, they go very fast for booking these GREs and IELTS, right? IELTS and TOEFL. So you have to book the dates in advance, because at that point of time there are like 5 lakh students who are preparing for this, and you will not get the dates. So you will have to struggle. So booking a date at that point of time, well, I was applying back in 2019, and getting a center was very difficult. I was in Bangalore, so I got a date in Mysore, and I had to travel there, give my test, and just come back. So the exams are pretty easy. The preparation around it, the timing around it is very difficult. So how do you time yourself? How do you prepare for it? It is not a bachelor's exam which you can give the next day by studying at night, right? That is how we have given most of the exams. You have to prepare for it over a period of like minimum 30 days. You have to give yourself that much time. It does a like, and once you are here, you will actually understand all of it was worth it. So just give those exams with dedication. Yeah.
Right. So, just a personal question here. Like,
Hmm.
if I graduate in August next year, August
Hmm.
2023, so which term should I select? Should I select a fall term or should I select a winter term for admission?
Okay, so mostly I think people don't graduate in August 2023. You will be graduate in May 2023, right? May you will become your college ends. Then June, July is basically free for you guys. Your convocation might be in October, but you are eligible. Your last day of the college is in May, probably, right? So
Okay.
you have to prepare for fall 2023. Fall is something which is a session which starts in August, right? August. Then there is a spring semester which starts in January. 70% of the students opt for fall semester, right? Because that is how our Indian bachelor's duration is as well. Most of the students, they are just out of the college and they come, and the next month they are here in the United States. So I have seen students over here, and their convocation is going on virtual while they are over here. So that has happened. So you do not, when you are pursuing your bachelor's, right? So I don't know if your program started late or something and it has been pushed because of the COVID. Most of the times when we were doing our bachelor's, it we graduated in May and we got our degrees in October or something. So you do not have to, yeah, you will have to miss out your convocation. That is one of the most special occasions of our lives. But definitely you can call your parents over here in the States for your master's convocation. So you have to start applying. What month is it? It's May, right? Already. So yeah, you already have to start with your process pretty soon.
Yeah. So, since you have experienced both academic life and professional, you will be experiencing it very soon. So, what are your expectations, and how do you think it will be difficult from your current academic life?
Okay, so my industry experience back in India, in Bangalore, I was in Bangalore, working in Bangalore, in VMware. So my academic life was also very fun, right? I was from a college where I was very active in all the societies and all the clubs, and luckily we could go on the campus. It was not hybrid, so it was a lot of fun. We were never worried about anything. We used to get a fixed stipend, and that stipend also used to be a lot for us, because what will we do out of it? So once I went to Bangalore, it was a different game altogether, because you are not in your comfort zone. When you are on the campus, you know, if there are 5,000 odd students, you will know around 3,000 odd students. You would have at least familiar faces around you. Once you are in the industry, you move to a different state, you move to a different, now if you get a job abroad, you will be in a different country altogether. You will not have your parents write a phone call away, right? You will not have that. So it is a very different experience when you are working as a professional. It is, no one expects you to start behaving like a professional immediately on your day one. I was given a lot of slack because I like to actually talk to a lot of people. So I was one of those people, wherein it was, we were just treated as a child once we enter the industry. And even all our managers, all the professionals out there, they are very excited to have new talent in their team. We guys bring a different a sort of an energy to the teams, right? So that is expected out of you. Don't start behaving like a 45-year-old guy who is expected to do everything right from day one, right? So I was very harsh on myself. If my first production commit just was a blunder, right? Something went wrong when I had just pushed the code for the first time in the industry, and I was very harsh on myself. How can you do it? People are losing so much money. It's completely fine. Just when you enter the industry life, just make sure that okay, you will fail. Just be a learning student. You are still a student till 1 year of your industry experience. So just be open to asking any sort of questions to everyone, right? And if you are in India, you will be one of those lucky people who will get maids. But if you are here in the States, you have to make sure that you are actually working as well as managing your household chores. So it can get a bit lonely once you enter the industry, because otherwise in your academic life you were always surrounded by your friends. But how do you make friends in the teams where you're working is should also be one of the goals, regardless of just learning all the technical skills. So in the industry life can also be very much fun, but you have to be good at networking. You cannot expect someone else to come and say a hi to you. You have to go up front to the person and say, okay, hi, I am a new joinee over here. Can you just teach me what you are doing? And people will be more than happy to talk to you. So yeah, that's it.
So right, when you were in college, like, did you think that you will be, like doing this job, like the one you did, or the one you are going to do?
Oh no. So once I started my bachelor's, I was one of those people who had gone through a very grilling process of giving JEE means and IIT, JEE Advanced and everything. Once I entered a good college, I was like, okay, I'm done with it. I'll just go through my bachelor's degree, get a good job, and just settle down. And then it never happens. At least for me, it never happens. So for me, I am a person who will never settle down. So I always knew this, right? So first year first year chala jata hai, second year, third year it hits you, okay, I have to find jobs, because your 1 year seniors people are actually going through that phase. Third year hits you, and at that point of time, all these names, right? Amazon, DE Shaw, and all these big names, right? They come to the campus. Oh, that person got hired. Then you set a vision for yourself. Okay, I might also be that person who gets a good job, right? So you have to choose. Okay, samajh mein, you understand in third year. Okay, I'll have to go through this process the next year. So either you can procrastinate, or either you can actually start building up your network and start working on your skills. So when I was in the third year, I saw my immediate seniors going through this process. This is a stressful process, right? So I could actually see the stress on them. So I decided, okay, I want this. If this person can get it, why can't I get it? So I have this attitude. So this competitive attitude, even my mother does not like it, that I am very competitive when it comes to all of this, right? When will you finally settle down? That is the question which my mother always asks me, right? So if you are a person who will settle down, you will not have this vision for 5 years down the line. But if you are a person who's continuously striving to actually move ahead in your life, you have to set visions for yourself. So when I was in the third year of my bachelor's, I never thought that I'll come for my master's. I just had an immediate goal of actually getting a good job. Okay, I'll get a good pay in India. I'll be able to afford a lot of things in India, right? Luxurious life in India. I was living one of those. But then once you are there, living that life, then you get the next vision. Okay, now I want to do something else wherein I move up the ladder. So coming to the States is probably one of the good decisions. You will be spending 1.5 years of your life or 2 years of your life, but the fruits which you actually will get out of this is a long term one, right? So you have to just focus on it. I got the vision. I did not have my life sorted back in 2018 or 2017 when I was in my bachelor's. I was just open to moving, right? And to just change my comfort zone. So that is how your vision develops over time. No one is expecting that, okay, that is a very pretty straightforward question which you get asked, okay, what is your vision 10 years down the line or 5 years down the line? I am a person who believes that, okay, I'll set my vision as time goes. So, and it has been working for me. So, yeah, I didn't have this vision back in my bachelor's.
Right. So, how did you prepare for the assessment rounds for your current role at Amazon?
Okay. So this assessment, right, when I was actually preparing over here last year in August, when I landed in the States, I was one of those people who was like, okay, let's just go and explore. What is it? Oh, everything is so beautiful over here. Everything is so clean, right? So I was one of those people, and I actually saw some of the people getting up at 5 in the morning and doing DSA, data structures and algorithm questions on Geeks for Geeks, on Lead Code. Everyone was doing it, and I was not one of those people, and I didn't know what these guys are doing, because I did not have the guidance, okay, that you have to start the day you land over here, right? People were doing data structures and algorithms back in India, when they were coming to the States. So one thing is, for preparing, right, anyone who's coming over here, I know it is a very overwhelming process to move to a new country altogether, but once you land here, you have to start preparing on day one. If you do not prepare on day one, you are already late. If it's your day two, you are late for your applications, with your preparation. So with your preparation, it is not that you have to do like thousands of questions. You don't have to do 500 of questions. You have to build your concepts. So in most of the interviews which I gave, right, people would not ask me very technical questions, very big questions, because we guys end up doing, okay, we'll select hard feature, there's a filter, right, hard questions on Geeks for Geeks, right? So we end up doing those questions. Okay, these guys will ask us hard questions and I don't know, and let's prepare it when my basics are only not clear. So those people, they are actually wanting to, they don't want a person who has 100% of the skills. They want someone who can learn and has basic knowledge of everything. So when we actually select a hard question, we are not able to do it. It just discourages us and we just close the computer. That has happened with me for so long. But you will have to understand that unless you do the basic questions, do one question a day. But that one question should teach you something. So that one question, if comes something similar comes to you, you should be able to solve it. If you're not able to do it, then your strategy is wrong. So that one easy question, even if you're looking at the solution, it should work for you, but you should actually learn from it. So when I was preparing for it, I went through a lot of, there are standard questions, right? Okay, which prepare your, there is something, a list called blind 75. If you search for it, it basically teaches you the different concepts, the basic concepts of different kind of handling different kind of questions. So you have to go through it. You have to, so during the internships, when they do not ask you a lot of operating system concepts or networking concepts for the internships. Some of the companies do, but it is expected out of you, if you are a computer science graduate, that you have some basic knowledge of what a semaphore is, what a lock is, right? How many layers of networking are there? If you do not have these basic knowledge, basic things, knowledge of these things as well, it is fine, but you'll have to work harder. So you have to prepare for it. Your those blind 75 questions should be very strong, solid, and you should have a very clean hand on the programming language which you are using, right? So for example, I code in Java. So my hand should be very clean on taking an input from the user. We use scanners, right? So normally when we are doing some projects in our bachelor's, we just do a Google search, we get the Stack Overflow result, and we just copy paste it. But that is not teaching you anything. A grasp over the language with your hand should be very clean. You should be able to write at least the basic things very cleanly. So that is it. Yeah.
So about the thing that you said, I just got reminded of one thing that once my director told me that there is nothing wrong with copying and pasting a code till the time you
Mm,
understand what the code gives you. I mean,
mm,
you cannot always code everything. But
yeah.
if you know what the code is giving you, what the output is, what the workflow is, what's happening at the back end, then I mean it's totally okay. And I mean,
Mm.
I guess I really thought about it and it just struck me right now.
Yeah.
So, which tech stack did you focus on to get an internship at Amazon?
Okay, so it's not just tech stack. You have to focus on some particular tech stack to get into a job, unless you're applying for that particular job, right? So I applied for a general software development engineering role. So it was expected out of me that I have, it's about the job description to which you are applying, right? So you have to actually, so I look for jobs wherein they are looking for someone with experience of Java, Spring, Kubernetes, Docker. So some of the students might actually not know about these technologies like Kubernetes and Docker, right? But I have worked in the past about it. So whatever role to which you're applying, just make sure that you read the JD once. Most of the roles, job description is what we call JD. You have to read the job description. Most of the students end up applying in machine learning roles when they are asked about very simple questions of logistic regression, people do not know about it, right? So you are going to mess up your interviews if you are applying to job roles which do not align with your interest, with your knowledge, right? So if you are applying, you are a backend engineer, you have expertise in that. You cannot apply for a front end engineer role, which most of the students do over here, right? So you definitely will mess up your interview. That is going to actually not be a motivational thing for you, and then you will get discouraged. So apply to the roles which match your tech stack. Like I applied for a general SD role, and it was a very open role. Like they gave us the range that you should be proficient with Java, with Python, or basically something some a language which is oops oriented, right? So that matched. Then you should have some prior system design knowledge as well. So all of these things are focused on, but your job description actually matters a lot to the job to which you are applying, so just check for that.
Right. So I guess that's it for the questions that I have. Would you like to close this conversation with a message for the people who are watching and are preparing, who are going through the same process?
Oh, so I was one of those people who was sitting back in India and just going through this overwhelming process. And the wait is also very long, right? Once you apply, the wait to get a successful admit is very long, right? So just make sure that all of this will be worth it. One year or 2 year down the line, when you are actually sitting over here, you have a very good job offer, and you have learned a lot, right? So the teaching experience, right, the experience which I have had in the classrooms during my bachelor's and my master's is very different. And once you are there with a lot of people over here from different backgrounds, you will understand that all of this was worth it, right? So just don't get like be motivated throughout, right? You will not get one admit, you will not get two admits, but there is one admit which is waiting for you. Don't be very like applying to all the top tier colleges. Evaluate your profile yourself. Where do you fit in? Like just be truthful to yourself. It's okay in the list, right? If the college is not amongst the top 50 out there in the states, right? Even if it is the 51st college, but you know that yes, there's a short guarantee for you to get an admit there, just apply for it. Don't hesitate from applying. It just is very overwhelming that okay, every application is getting taking like 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees. Why do I have to do it? So once you are here in the states, all of this is just penny money, right? So that is, just think of it that this is your college fees. So the apply to as many colleges as you can, do your research and just hang in there, and it will definitely work out for you guys. And just learn good cooking skills. You will miss Indian food once you are here, but all of it works. You get Indian food everywhere. Don't worry. Yeah.
Indians are everywhere. We don't need to worry
Yeah.
about the food. So
You don't,
thank you,
seriously.
Vidushi. It was great talking to you. I mean, I personally learned a lot, and I will be asking you for a guidance for a long time. So be prepared for the same.
Yeah, sure.
And thank you so much for answering all the questions. And I'm sure everyone in the audience has been, is now at ease at mind that they have some basic guidance. So thank you everyone for watching, and thanks again, Vidushi. Have a great day ahead.
Yeah, sure, same to you. Thank you.